Resentment is often unreleased anger and unreleased tension that has been given too much power to people around you. I can't act like I came up with this. Shout out to Dr. Zeb, but I'm gonna break down in a very older video that he's done. But I just wanna use this as a reference because so many of you are in places of resentment. People weren't for you what you wanted them to be. Your spouse hasn't been what you wanted them to be. Your parents weren't available to you as you wanted them to be. And over the years, it has curated a lot of resentment that is actually keeping you from living the life you want, keeping you from a healthy marriage, keeping you from a healthy life, keeping you from moving forward. And I've often used this analogy to kind of break it down. You know, when you have a toddler, certain things that you just don't expect that 2-year-old to do. There are certain things that you just don't expect that 2-year-old to understand or have the capacity to know what's in their hand. You know, if you were to give them a set of car keys and they were to gnaw on this car key, drool on it a little bit, press buttons, one way or another over time, they're probably gonna find the way to throw those keys away, toss it to the side and go after a block, go after another toy. Not only do we not look at that and get frustrated at the toddler because they threw the keys, we don't expect ourselves to get frustrated at the toddler for throwing the keys because they just don't understand that what they had in their hands, and they did not have the capacity to see the value of it, to treat it with respect. And then furthermore, we wouldn't find ourselves getting upset if that toddler did not take those same car keys, start the car and go get some groceries. They just don't have the capacity. They don't have the awareness. They don't have the understanding to do that. And it's so interesting that we find ourselves mad at the more toddler maturity that others may express. Now, this isn't to make them out to be the villain. This is actually to encourage us to meet them where they are. And you have yet to really get to the place of meeting them where they are because there's a part of you that's still expecting them to do something they don't have the capacity to do. They don't have the maturity to do. They never had the tools to do. And because in this healing work, it is less about changing them and more about changing you, we cannot keep holding on to these expectations for other people around us to do and be what they simply don't have the capacity to do or become. I need you to be willing to let go of all the things that you've expected them to be for you that they just simply haven't, and it's kept you in a box of frustration. And in order to let it go, you've got to meet them where they are. They don't have the capacity to show up for you emotionally like you need them to. They don't have the capacity to do these things the way that you see fit for them to be done. And at some point, in order to get your peace, you have to be willing to let go. Otherwise, you are going to die trying. You are going to die in that space as mad as you'll ever be, thinking that if this changed and if they changed, if they did this, if they do that, then things would be better. And truth is, honesty and self-awareness is the first place and first priority to do any kind of healing. And when you're dealing with someone who doesn't have the capacity or self-awareness to do such, you remaining upset with them is now your fault, not theirs. And so I want to encourage you, as you're healing and doing some honest work, you give yourself the opportunity to release the anger, release the frustration. Just like a pressure cooker that has to have a valve pressed in order to release the steam, the pressure from the contents inside that's cooking. Otherwise, it has the capacity to perhaps burn the food, overcook the food, and depending on the pressure cooker, blow up. We have to do that with our emotions. We have to process these things healthily. Journaling, meditating, all these things. We have to process these things in a healthy way, whether that's through tears, whether that's just through getting a place to just put words to what we feel, but then also getting to a place as we come to these realizations, being able to release and being able to come to a place of acceptance that some of the people that we have remained upset at, I don't care if it's your spouse, I don't care if it's your mama, I don't care if it's your daddy, I don't care if it's your friend, coworker, I don't care who it is. A lot of the people that you remained upset at, they just didn't have the capacity to be what you needed them to be. And instead, we have to learn to meet people where they are. Make room for the faults of others. Shout out Colossians 3:13. Make room for the faults of others and forgive them as we've been forgiven. Meet them where they are in order to cultivate a healthy relationship instead of holding them to a standard they just simply can't reach because they don't have the tools to be for you what you needed them to be. Take the power out of their hands and take it back in yours by maintaining the peace you need, by no longer expecting them to do or be what they don't have the capacity to do or be. Sometimes you're just gonna have to let go. And this is the responsibility healing requires. And if you are unwilling to do that, you will remain in the frustrated box you've been in. No results, nothing changing. And the freedom has always been contingent on your decision to let go. I hope this made sense. If you did, type call it in the comment section below. Follow up for more as we continue navigating through our healing, doing relationships the right way. We start just doing the healing work on ourselves first, which sometimes looks like us acknowledging and being honest about the resentment, taking a step to no longer allowing it to control our lives, destroy us inwardly, and being willing to meet people where they are, no longer giving them expectations to things that they just don't have the capacity to do or become.